Have you ever thought to yourself, what is good about our government? This day and age, all we see is corruption. Is it really even good? Did it have a good start? I argue that yes, our country and our government had a great start. Its separation of powers, derived all the way back from Rome and carried out today, makes a very unique and I believe balanced government. Perhaps our founding fathers looked back in the corridors of time and saw an empire, one of the greatest this world has ever seen, and that is the Roman Empire, or also known as the Roman Republic. That's right, Roman Republic. Not a king telling everyone what to do, not a council of a few sages making decisions for everyone. A republic. The Roman Republic had three branches. They had the executive branch, ruled by two men known as consuls. They each shared the role of what we call a president today. They were both the head of the military. They presided over the Senate, which was their governing body. They made their laws. And they had power to veto one another, and both had to agree on something if laws were to be passed into motion. They also had a legislative branch, known as their Senate, comprised of mainly patricians, wealthier Romans. They were in charge of handling foreign affairs and the money, by and large, of a lot of the country because, well, these were wealthy people and they knew what to do with it. They also had the judicial branch, 10 tribunes elected by the people to determine whether or not the Senate and the consuls were doing a good job at making laws and leading the nation. Each tribune had the power to override any law passed by the Senate, making effectively a very balanced form of government with power still residing in the people, but there were still representatives of the people to elect these representatives. Today we see the United States with three branches as well: a legislative, executive, and judicial branch. Our legislative branch has power to tax, has power to create laws and put them into motion. Our executive branch has power to sign said laws into motion and enforce those laws, as well as act as the head of our military and figurehead of our country. The judicial branch is primarily the Supreme Court, and it is their job to determine if other governing bodies, such as the legislative and executive branch, are staying within their constitutional realm of power that they are given. I believe that there is a wonderful balance in the separation of all three of these powers, with each having power over the other in some way. The legislative power has the legislative branch, has power over the executive branch in that they hold all the money of the country. The president cannot declare war or, pay his army without consent from the legislative branch, which is directly elected by the people. The executive branch has power of the legislative branch through a veto. If there is a law going to be passed that he does not approve of, he may simply veto it. And then the judicial branch, they do not have a ton of power because, well, let's face it, they're furthest away from the people and how they are elected. The judicial branch is appointed. The members of the Supreme Court, primarily the judicial branch, are appointed by the president, and the Senate must approve of these appointments. So you can see that, well, the judicial branch is kind of a product of the executive branch, but not really without the Senate's help, which is determined by the people. So there's a unique balancing act that goes on there that I believe makes for a very balanced government. We are not left with a monarchy where one man has all the power. We're not even left with an oligarchy where just a few people have the power and decide what's right for everyone else. And we also do not have a democracy, contrary to what people believe. We do not have mob rule, where it is simply if everyone wants it, that's what happens. And that is why I believe our country and its government is beautifully balanced despite its many flaws. Thank you.